Welcome back to the Jerusalem Media Hub here at Jewish News Syndicate, jns.org. My name is Alex Traiman, CEO and Jerusalem Bureau Chief of Jewish News Syndicate, and it is a great privilege to be here with someone who has very quickly become my friend. And quite frankly, I'm not surprised about it because the second you get to know my guest, you'll know that he's becoming friends with a lot of people here in Israel. And this is none other than Ambassador Ezra Cohen, the ambassador of Panama to the state of Israel. Ambassador Cohen, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for your words and for the friendship and for the opportunity.
And you always have a smile on your face. You seem to feel like you have got the best job in the entire world. And you're definitely communicating that to everybody. So it must be true. And I think, like a lot of diplomats in the world, you've made a transition from the business world into diplomacy. So maybe
Right.
tell us a little bit about your background and how you made it here to become the ambassador to Israel.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank Hashem for giving me the opportunity of being here in Israel with this assignment. And also to thank my president, Jose Raul Molino, who trusted me in being his person in Israel. So I've been in the business world since 17 years old. And at the age of 32 years old, I already had my company being listed in NASDAQ, which was the first Panamanian company getting to NASDAQ. And then we had operations in several countries in the world. Then we sold the company and I wanted to do something different. And they tell me that I get bored when I do things routinely. I like also always to innovate. So I wanted to give some time to my community, and I became the executive director of the Jewish community in Panama, a post that never existed.
And how many Jews are there in Panama?
14,000 Jews divided in three communities: the Sephardi community, 10,000 Jews; the Ashkenazi community, 2,000 Jews; and the Reform community, 2,000 Jews. So it was a quite interesting job because, as I said, I like to innovate. We came up with great plans, great programs for the Jewish community and for Panama as a country. So after 9 years, I'm questioning myself. This is a job that I thought it will be for 1 or 2 years. What I'm doing here 9 years? It meant to be a preparation for this assignment, which I have now. Very honored to have it, and enjoying it every day of my life.
You've been here about a year?
No, 9 months.
9 months. Okay,
Yes.
coming towards a year.
Right.
But you've said that you feel very privileged to have this position, and what did you find here? What has Israel given to you as an ambassador? And then also we should talk about what does Israel offer Panama, and what does Panama offer Israel?
Yes. Well, first of all, I think when a country assigns an ambassador, it is very important for the ambassador to know the language. And all of my meetings are in Hebrew. So that's already a door opener. Secondly, I am a religious Jew, which also is a door opener because, when I meet ministers, some of them, most of them are religious Jews. So we kind of talk the same language. But also I take care of non-religious, and I love them because they're Israelis. And I've discovered a country and a people that my perception being in the Galut,
In the diaspora.
diaspora, it's totally different, there's a joke that I say, when you're in an airport and you see somebody snitching into a line, it's probably an Israeli, right?
Exactly.
Well, I found the other side of these Israelis, which they are so caring for people. For example, one day I was in Jerusalem and my driver stops the car suddenly. He goes into the trunk, takes his bag, he goes to assist a lady that fell. After 20 seconds, there were 20 people helping this lady. And then also, I go and I visit Judea and Samaria, and I see a lady, 26 years old, pregnant, with a gun bigger than her size, taking care of the farm because she is avoiding Arabs to come in. So I said, we see this contrast of people. And then you see people, all sorts of Israelis, always, they are in the move, but when it's time to help, they stop everything and they assist and help his fellow Jew.
Right. And, we saw in the wartime, instead of Israelis fleeing for the borders, running away like refugees do in most situations of war, Israelis all over the world were trying to get on planes to get back into the country.
Exactly.
And you had an interesting story because, especially during this latest operation between Israel and Iran, we had hundreds of thousands of Jews that were trapped abroad trying to get into the country, that the Minister of Transportation had to put together a whole operation to bring people back and through different countries. You were on the other side of that. You were, as the ambassador of Panama, there were some Panamanians that were in the country, right?
Well, first of all, when the alarm sound that the war started, I said to myself, this is strange because I always have my phone on silent. And even on silent, the alarm sounded.
Mhm.
And it was a strange alarm and a noise that I
Right.
never heard.
Right, and you don't get to pick the sound of the alarm on your phone.
Exactly.
It's a very
exactly.
jarring
And
sound.
then I realized this is something new, strange to me and to my wife. And then the phone call starts from Panama. I learned that there were 16 evangelical pastors here, stranded. I learned that there were 3 majors of cities in Panama that they came for a seminar. I learned that there were 13 students from a school in Panama stranded. And the people and the families are starting to call me to make sure that I evacuate them. So, okay, and this is something very interesting. I'm going to do a parenthesis because what I have dedicated during these 9 months is to build relationships. And we had a situation where we wanted to evacuate some of the Panamanians through the borders, Jordan or Egypt. Well, the parents of the students didn't want them to cross the border. But then,
Because of the dangers that might
of course,
be on the other
big
side of the
danger,
border.
And then I said to myself, well, I need to start handling different scenarios. So I was able to move 2 missions out of Egypt. And I personally, with my wife, went to Eilat and make them a dinner in Eilat hotel prior to the moving to the Egyptian border. And I wanted them to feel comfortable about, that Israel is at war, but that this will not be a trauma for them for the rest of their lives. And then during that table, we had 32 people in that table, and I asked everyone to share something. And one of them told me something beautiful. They said, if I will be in Panama and I will learn about the war, I will never dare to come. But now that I'm here during the war, I am honored. And I was very happy to be here and to see how Israeli they have a situation and how they solve the situation. So that was a great lesson. Then we had missions that we need to evacuate via boat, cruise. So we talk about relationship. I call the owners of the boat, of the cruise line, the man of family. Please help me, get me some seats. No, the boat is rented to Bank Leumi. I called Bank Leumi CEO, which I met before. Can you help me? Don't worry. Let's put in the line such and such person. And this is what I love from Israelis. When there's a situation,
That's what you said about cutting the line, right? The
exactly,
Israeli figures out how do they get where they need to be.
don't send me any email and talk to my assistant. No, hold on a second. Let's put him on the line and let's solve this. So we were able to send 2 missions in the cruise line. And one of the missions was the students, which I was able to go inside the cruise and have lunch with them also as a farewell. And then the third.
Wait, so you rode on the cruise?
Oh, yes. No. I went there,
Okay.
had lunch with them, and then I left.
Okay.
I need to take care of the rest of the Panamanians who were here. And then we had flights from El Al and from Israel that also I spoke to the owner of Israel and I spoke to the CEO of El Al to help me out. So, in Israel, I call it is a big shtibel. Everybody knows each other. You need to just know how to really get those connections. And this is what I built in the last 9 months.
And so here as the ambassador, you're looking to make those connections and leverage those connections in order to benefit your country, Panama. So this was one example of how you, jumped into action when the situation was urgent. But let's assume that we get past wars, we're victorious, everything gets quiet over here as we all want, and with the return of all the hostages and everything like that. How do you see uh, the benefits or the advancing of the partnership between Israel and Panama?
Well, the job of an ambassador is to promote his country, right? So I live in front of Mahane Yehuda, which is a famous market. And then I was always having for breakfast papaya, the fruit. I go to a Mahane Yehuda and there's no papaya. And then I found a small place where they sell it for 30 shekels to one papaya. I said, for 30 shekels, I can buy 30 papayas in Panama.
Right.
And then I opened the papaya. It was a lousy quality. So I said, this is one of the things we need to bring from Panama. So we're working now with the Ministry of Health, with the Ministry of Agriculture to bring papaya and also pineapple, because the pineapple in Panama is the sweetest of all. So we want to bring these kind of products. But then also we have necessities. For example, we have water problems, administration of the water in Panama. Can you believe that Panama is a country that has 9 months rain, and there are some cities that they have no water? So it's a problem of the administration, which Israel is an expert. So what we want to do is bring this expertise to Panama. Also, we have cybersecurity concerns. Israel is an expert in cybersecurity. So there's a lot of areas where Israel can help and assist Panama's necessity.
And is it you seeing the advantage of coming into this position, not from the side of foreign service like a lot of diplomats in the world, but coming to it from the world of business?
100%. You know why? I am in a meeting and we talk. We finalize the meeting, and then I am on top of them. So what's next? And I'm pushing them. So, I would like to have my legacy being that I did something for my country. So when I go back and after 5 years and I see what I did, what I built, this is my accomplishment. So having meetings is great, but how you accomplish things, how you get results from those meetings, it's my business DNA that I want to make sure that at all times is there.
Well, I've seen that you're clearly the ambassador from Panama, but I've also seen that you are a strong advocate for what's going on here in Israel, and communicating the reality of Israel back to your country, and I think around the world. A lot of people really don't understand what Israel's all about, because their perceptions of Israel oftentimes are coming from the media, right, and social media, and we see how biased anti-Israel messaging comes through much of the mainstream media, of course, on social media. So what is it about? First of all, what are the perceptions of Israel, in your country, in Panama, outside of the Jewish community, right? We can understand that the Jewish community, they have connections to Israel, but how do people view Israel?
Well, uh, unfortunately, the media has twisted the real Israel. And we talk about Israel becoming a startup nation, but in the media industry, we are not doing a good job as Israelis are not really concentrating in conveying the right message. And you see this immediately when you have people coming in. I have these pastors, I have these mayors from cities. They tell me that they had a perception from Israel totally different as to when they came and they saw what is Israel all about. So, they see Israel as a country that is constantly in war or in threats from the surroundings neighboring countries. But also they hear and they see how much Israel does good to the world. If there's an earthquake, Israel team goes there. If there is a necessity for all sorts of things, Israelis are there. So in Panama, I think there's a good perception for Israel. But if we're able to bring people from abroad to Israel, the perception changes immediately. And this is what Israel needs to start working on.
What is it that people don't understand about Israel? What are they getting wrong?
Well, they talk about Israel being a genocide country. How come you can say that? I've been here. I've seen how Israeli praises life. You cannot say that Israel is a genocide country. How they send messages that we're going to attack. Please evacuate. Which army does that? So Israel always has been in the front line of being attacked, and Israel needs to defend itself. But now it's time also not only to defend, but also to attack the media and convey the right message. What is the real Israel and not the Israel portrayed by the media?
What do you see in terms of the trends of support for Israel, not just in Panama, but across all of Latin America? Can Israel count on the support of Latin America as friends into the future, or do we have to be really careful here?
Well, we are living interesting times. The support of the Mileys and the president of Paraguay and the president of Panama. That president of Panama was the minister of defense 10 years ago, and Israel assisted very much Panama in security measures. So Israel needs to really take these countries that are in favor, that they know Israel, that's why they are in favor of Israel, and start collaborating with them closely. And then eventually, the neighboring countries in Latin America will see what Israel is doing for them, for these countries that have a relationship with Israel, and then they will understand that they are in the wrong side and they need to start dealing with Israel because Israel is only there to help.
Are you optimistic about the
100%. 100%. Listen, the word true in Hebrew has, legs that it represents a solid thing you say. Lies doesn't have legs. So when you portray the truth, eventually the truth will get into everybody's backyard. But you need to be able to portray it in the right way.
that message needs to get through, right?
100%, 100%. And I think JNS did a great conference. I was totally surprised with the conference that I assisted. In fact, I canceled all of my meetings the next day just to participate. And I was there from the very beginning till the end. And it shows me an Israel that I wasn't aware. And then I am able to understand more why I'm here and what is there in Israel to be able to send to export to our countries.
What about counterterrorism, things like this? Are there challenges?
Well, I want you to know something that uh, 2 days ago we celebrated the 31st anniversary of the first and only terrorist attack in Panama made by Hezbollah in an airplane that was going from Panama to Colon City. By the way, I took that same flight the day before.
Wow.
Yes. And I had many friends in that flight that died. And because of that event, we strengthened our security measures in most of our institutions in Panama. But, I'm a little bit concerned that if Iran was dismantled in their own country, that they will start using proxies in all over the world. So we need to be very, very aware and with open eyes as to what will be their strike.
What's the situation for the Jewish community in Panama?
Jewish community in Panama is very active in the economy of Panama, and it represents many industries that the Jewish Panamanians are involved. And basically, we as Jews and Panamanians are always looking for the benefit of Panama as our own country. So when you work hard, you hire Panamanians, you're a good job, you're a good boss, then you're doing a good job. And that's basically the spirit of the Panamanian Jews.
Are there challenges for security for the community?
No, I will not say.
Anti-Semitism?
Very few, very few. When there's some strikes or manifestations, there are 20 people showing up there. So that's the manifestations that we have, and we don't have them so many. We have a huge evangelical community that supports Israel all the way. And they did a rally after October 7, huge. And we were surprised to see the love the evangelical community has for the Israel and for the Jewish people. So Panama, in essence, it's a very secure country, and I hope it stays like that.
And hopefully the relationship between Panama and Israel will strengthen. And
well, that's my job. And if it's strengthened, then I did my job, right?
Absolutely. And I think that you're definitely on the path. You're making a lot of friends here in the state of Israel. We're very, very privileged to have you as the representative of Panama to the Jewish state. So, Ambassador Ezra Cohen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Alex, and keep doing the good job. You're doing great. Keep pushing JNS.
Thank you.
All the best.